100% Hard AF Seltzer is now live in Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Texas, Ohio, Montana, Idaho, Oregon, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Illinois. Go to hardafseltzer.com today, click on the store locator, and enter your city or zip to find the closest location nearest you.
Oh, I like that angle.
That's unfortunate. Time to take the leg.
Welcome to Drinkin, bro. Yeah, welcome to Drinkin, bros. Kids, we got a bonus episode for you this week. That's why we're going super early, because I got to train tonight. So I got one more game inside my tiny little body on Saturday night. Cheers. Let's take a shot of Ketone IQ here. We're not going to have any ads other than my bookie and Ketone IQ, I guess, today. Simply because this is a bonus. Was not expecting this. One of the crazier stories we've had in a while here. Cheers. Boom. Now I can start my life. Thank you, Ketone. All right. Last week, started for the Dallas Bulls in the National Arena League, going against Team Mexico. Now, in the lead up to this, I was going to wear number 69. We had blue jerseys and all that other fun stuff. When I got to the park at Fair Park Coliseum, Team Mexico had solid colors. And so at the last minute, they said, hey, guys, you guys have to wear white jerseys because we can't have solids against solids. Referees said that'll be too hard to judge and everything else. Just grabbed a jersey out of a box. It was number 55, took a picture on it, posted it for you guys, and it said, hey, guys, I'm wearing number 55. Apparently, when the game started, because obviously I'm playing in it, so I don't have a chance to go and look, 55 was read as Brad Namdar every single time, and you guys have been calling me Brad, B-Rad, the famous Brad Namdar all week long. And in the day and age we live in right now, everybody thinks either it's a conspiracy, it's all fake, somebody kicked for me, or that I was cloned, or in the last one I heard was that it was AI. Between all the comments back and forth between all the socials that were airing the game live, we had over 40,000 comments talking about Brad Namdar, and I said, all right, I got to get the famous Brad Namdar on the show here. Give him a round of applause, if you will. Thank you. There he is. This is the real Brad Namdar, okay? I would say stand up, but you'd be the same height. You and I have quite a bit of height difference. I'm kissing 6'4". How tall are you, Brad?
Well, hey, Ross, is it Patterson? Patterson.
I've fucked up your last name all week, and it's been led.
I'm okay with it, it's all good. But no, I'm 5'5" on a good day.
5'5" on a good day. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
You should know, though, that on this show, we've been doing it for 11 years, top 40 in the world for comedy for 11 years consecutively. I've fucked up everyone's last name, including Matthew McConaughey. But I mean, including Matthew McConaughey, so you're in good company.
Okay, good. That makes me feel better.
There's an Oscar winner, and then you. Now, what I do want to tell the audience is all of these arena teams carry multiple kickers, and the rules are entirely different than the NFL or any other league that I played in college, all that other stuff. And Brad was kind enough to be essentially my mentor there and kind of help me out with the rules. We all know that initially I was brought in for publicity. They made me go through the tryouts and all that other stuff.
That's false, Ross. You're brought up based upon your talent, your spirit, and your grind and ethic, and that's what Texas is about. And we take football seriously in Texas. So,
And so do I. I trained for months with my kids, and then it just turned out I was able to do this again. We got my bookie involved. They're sponsoring the league. They've got odds already up for tomorrow night's game, which I got traded in the middle of the week, so I'm going against you. But let's start with the game last Saturday nights. So I got to meet you essentially in that Friday practice.
I think so. It was the day before. Yeah, it was the day before the first game we met. Yeah, and I realized you're definitely, we're not clones, you and me. So let's throw that one out of the room. Because I mean we look so much alike. I mean, height wise and facial and all that good stuff. So, but no, yeah, we met the day before, and just getting on the turf and figuring out, okay, just getting some kicks in because the arena is pretty interesting. And
boy, let's get into it, dude. So, by the way, thank God you were there to kind of walk me through this because let's start with the turf. It's horrific. I mean, it's just carpet at that point. And on the first extra point that I did, I got my foot caught in it. You could see like a 2-inch rise in some of the carpet there. And you've played for years, so you're used to this. And then you said, hey, just go in a little closer so you're not on the seams of the carpet next try. And then it was perfect after that. All the kickoffs are great because there was no seams down there. But same thing happened to you. When you went in the second quarter, you went down on the other end and you shortened it up by 2 yards to avoid those seams. Has this been happening your entire career in arena football, and is this normal?
So, I mean, the turf, I can tell you this, it looks better this week, obviously, than it was the week before. So you won't have to worry about it as much as we'd had to worry about last week, which is good. I mean, honestly, rolling out turf is not like a simple task. So you have to really make sure that it's, creased together. Like I said, like you said, when we got over there, we had to make sure, okay, hey, because kickers in arena football are so important on field positioning and, points on the board. And, it's only it's a 50-yard field. That's goal line to goal line, what people don't understand. And then you're not kicking on a regular field goal. You're kicking on a field goal that's, 8-9 feet wide. And so it's, and a regular field goal is 24 feet. So people don't realize it's a much smaller target and it's 10 feet off the ground. The end zone is supposed to be 8 yards back. So it's not exactly the easiest thing to do. So the turf seams have to be put together. You have to look for this, sometimes you play on turf that has, like AstroTurf, which is what we played on and you were playing on as well. And then you can't wear cleats on those because sometimes that'll get you stuck and stuff like that. So there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. And I've played on so many different types of surfaces, but for the most part in the arena football, you will have AstroTurf. And then you remember the night before I was like, you need to make sure the clothing you wear under your gear needs to be all solid one color.
Yep.
You got to cover your legs and it's a lot of information taken at once. So I want to make sure you knew all that stuff before the game. Cause I also remember you had a helmet for the team and you couldn't see.
No.
And we're trying to figure that out too. I don't know if the audience knows about that. If you want to tell them about that, and then adjusting your chin strap in the locker room before the game.
Oh my God, because they don't tell you any of this before you get there. They just assume that you know. So there's just a room of black helmets, and some of them were just recently spray painted and all that other shit. And they're like, "Hey, grab a helmet." Well, the problem is, I've got a huge head. And the linemen grab, the biggest helmets first because they're the most important guys on the team, and it goes for college and the NFL as well. So by the time it got to me, I was wearing like a medium. My fucking head was so sore, and the bar was here, so it was hard to see the ball. So
we tried to take the air out of it, remember? We tried to take the air out of it, too.
We tried to take air out of it. We tried to do everything. So I pulled the helmet all the way down when I was doing kicks and got used to it. There was another kicker, Pablo. Did Pablo make the team?
Yeah, Pablo, right now, they have me as the starting kicker for the 21-man roster. And you remember Delgado was there too, as well. It was another kicker that we had. So actually, when Ross came, there was myself and 2 other kickers there. That's
right.
Yeah, they were working out with him. So when we saw Ross, Ross is taller than all of us and bigger than all of us. So which is kind of funny. But
I'm a
yeah,
fucking giant, dude. Everybody's
dude,
surprised about that in
guys,
real life.
Patterson is Patterson. He's a big dude. Like it's kind of hard to mistake him for me. And then the roster sheet had me listed at 5 foot, which really was like, oh, like add insult to injury. I'm not 5 foot. I'm 5'5". But yeah, we had Delgado, which is he played. He's 25. He's about to have a baby this weekend too.
Is he
So
really?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Having kids, so shout out to Delgado for that one. And then Pablo, he's from Spain. It's like a band of characters that this little kicking group that we have. He's like 6'1", probably 160. Skinny guy, good leg. And then you have Ross. So all three of us are very different in size and just the look overall. But yeah, and Pablo didn't have a chin strap. So he actually used my helmet when he went to go play in the fourth quarter because I was like, Pablo, you can't go out there without chin strap. He was like, bro, I'm good. I'm like, no, you're not. Like the Spaniard in you is pissing me off. Put the helmet and chin strap on. I felt like I was a special teams coordinator with the special teams equipment, with the special teams, just like everybody know what's going on because there's just so much at you. And I think fans, you're right. They don't know that. Like when you go in there, you think, okay, I'm gonna have all this stuff ready. I was like, wait a minute, let me make sure I talk to Ross.
Yeah.
You need to have this stuff down, that stuff down, because it's so fast. Like how fast it is from the kickoff tee. Like little things people don't think about, like your kickoff tee. Well, you need to use the kickoff tee to kick off. You need to get it from the sidelines after your extra point.
Mhm.
So by the end zone, like these little things where I was like, okay, I'm gonna toss it to you. I toss it to you, after you kicked your extra points and all that good stuff. Which, by the way, your kickoffs are pretty good. They're dang good. And so is the kicks you did on the field goals. So, yeah. Pablo is still with us, but those little nuanced things, like you get just from experience and time, like
Yeah, because I was chatting with Pablo afterwards, and he goes, he's Spanish, and he was like, "Fuck this bar, I can't see this fucking bar," and I was like, "Oh, he's talking about the face mask."
Yeah.
And I go, "Yeah, man, I'm having problems with mine too," and he goes, "It's soccer, you don't have to wear this shit and whatever," and I was like, "Yep, definitely not soccer." But like look, I've done 6,000 episodes of podcasting here. I could tell when I met you. You've done this for years. You're like a seasoned veteran for this. How long have you personally played in Arena League? Because if memory serves me correct, I think you were the starting kicker for SMU.
So good question. So I played like when he said, by the way, your Spanish impression of Pablo, like the soccer part of it, the face mask it's pretty close. But yeah, no, I mean, I grew up in Texas, went to Plano West, right? And I started kicking footballs middle school, going to 8th grade. I was a quarterback and I was a kicker too, but I was on the B team, by the way, Ross, on for quarterback. And I was like happy and all this stuff being B team quarterback. This first year I ever played was 8th grade. And then they had kicking and punting day, like the very last thing before we go do our scrimmages. And so I punted a ball, and then the coach, like while we're doing our stretching lines, he goes, "You're on the A team." And I was like, yeah, but then I was like, no, because that meant I was like the backup quarterback or third string or something. So then the starter got hurt after the first game, so I got some reps in. But after that, we moved forward, and I was playing club soccer. I was always playing soccer as a soccer player, right? Did good with club soccer, got to be in ODP and all those other things. I mean, like in North Texas, soccer's king, right? So wasn't until like sophomore and freshman year I was like actually kicking like 40 plus, 50 plus yard field goals. You got to train, man. You got to be dedicated to it.
Yes.
And I went to Plano West. I didn't miss the extra pointer field goal in 2 years as a starting kicker on the varsity team. And it was pretty cool. Then I played at Texas Tech. Mike Leach was head coach back then.
Shit! How was Mike Leach in real life?
I mean, oh man, he's definitely one of the most like inspiring, interesting, smartest, most like he was a rest of soul. He's a good dude. He's a good dude. Really good guy. I mean, I've got stories for days about him. I mean, he's definitely, you can tell the man's intelligent. He's smart. I mean, he was also an attorney. He went to Pepperdine Law. Like air raid offense. I mean, the team put together was fantastic everywhere he went. And then I transferred to SMU, and I took a couple years off kicking, and then I ended up kicking again my senior year at SMU, and that was under June Jones, another like offensive legend, and our special teams coach is Frank Gans Jr. from the Lake Frank Gans. And then after that, like, got my master's, when I was involved in soccer a lot. And then I didn't return actually to arena ball. I was telling you about this until 2020, I believe, 4 actually, to go kick. So why not? And then I got to kick with like the Tucson Sugar Skulls, the Frisco Fighters, Wichita Regulars, which was the AFL, and then Corpus Christi Tritons, the AIF. So I literally became like, I knew I could still kick, kind of like you did, like you're like, oh, I can still do it.
Yeah.
But decided to get back involved. But you have to like battle out guys that, people don't know this, but if you guys go to the NAL and a lot of the arena leagues, you have really good, talented players that either are trying to go to the league or have been at the league or, go to the CFL or overseas and stuff like that. So you'll see some really talented players play. So it's definitely one of the things where, I'm fortunate enough to have played for 2 big D1 schools,
Yep.
and so you get some confidence from that and some, things like that. But when you're playing, there might be some guys who didn't play big time D1 schools, but they're just as good, in their field positions and stuff like that. So, and it's a lot of fun too for the fans to come out and see, the show and the pageantry, I'll say.
God, how out of control was that game? We'll start with this. First of all, the jersey thing was hilarious. And
Yeah.
Were you the starting kicker last year? Is that why they kept saying your name?
No, so like I was told that like, hey, be ready to go. And obviously you and I met the day before and we hit it off well.
Yeah.
And all that good stuff. I think what they did is they on the flip card or on their flip like what they would submit for the roster, I guess, they submitted me because I was a starting kicker for the team, and then they started saying, I watched the replay of the game back when he went on the field. They go, Brad Namdar with the extra point. I was like, no, that's not me. It's whatever. But like, they said again on the kicks. And then by the time, and this is important for your fans, everyone to know, Pablo kicked, which was in the 4th quarter.
Yep.
That's when the announcer said, I don't think the kicker is the same person. Or something like that. Because
I haven't watched the replay at all, and at that point, the mercy rule had kicked in. We couldn't kick extra points or field goals or anything, and we were up by I want to say 55 at halftime, and then the final score was 101-0. And then they wanted to try out somebody to do kickoffs in the 4th because you guys have to actually play the rest of the season. And, I was only coming in for 1 game, possibly 2, which is going to happen tomorrow night.
Yeah.
And so I understood what was going on. I did not know about the mercy rule.
Neither did I, Ross.
Because do we set the record? A lot of people are saying I saw a thing that we set the record, and it's the highest score of all time.
So, okay, yeah, I saw, like, again, I told you, like, when we spoke on the phone, I was like, my head's been buried in the sand this last week because of our women's soccer program and all the other stuff. But I saw the 101 scoreline. Apparently, maybe for the men's league, I guess it's the biggest score differential between an opponent. But, it's an exhibition, right? Preseason, game. So, but I think it is a record. I do think for whatever it is a record.
Yeah, I think there was a women's team that was higher, but as far as men's, this was it. And when you're out there and you're seeing it, you're like, shit, man, the mercy rule doesn't make any sense here because when you're trashing somebody that bad, going for 2 is actually piling it on and getting even more points. And things started getting real fucking chippy.
Yeah, you were the sidelines once you said that, and they knocked it over the boards. I think I was next to your son. I had to pull it back. It was crazy.
Yeah.
They get into it, and it was just super chippy in that 3rd quarter on, like. But to your credit, like you said, like it's just both teams wanted to play. It was physical, but by the time that Pablo went and kicked, that was the 4th quarter, and the announcer was like, I don't think number 55 is Brad Namdar, the same kicker. I'm surprised, like, even after you got done kicking and I was kicking, I was like, did they not know? Like, and I was low key worried about it. I was like, do they not know that it's Ross kicking and then not me? And I was like, oh man, the spiraling effect is going to go down.
Look, for our audience, it's pure gold and comedy and all that other shit. But what I found out yesterday in a meeting yesterday was the announcers got replaced 5 minutes before the game, so they were the ones who were like, hey, we actually don't know any of these people, and we're just going to say these names off the card, which is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
And,
for some people that's hilarious, but for others, I was like, because I did get a couple messages this week. I did get a few messages about, saying, hey, did you have a growth spurt? And then did you have to take it away? And then did you have to come back again? So I was like, man, I wish I did. I mean, I'll take a couple inches from Ross, and I'll take a couple of inches from Pablo to get me to 5'9" or whatever. But no, I did have a few messages online and stuff like that. But I was like, oh, okay, cool. Some people are watching the game, I guess.
Somebody in the chat here is saying Wanathan 4 ends to say Namdar should go as Ross Patterson tomorrow, and we should just switch jerseys and then kick for the other teams. That's really fucking funny, by the way.
I mean, that's not a bad idea. Like,
yeah.
But I think we need consistency for a little bit for them to know it's you kicking at this time.
Oh, God, it'll be hilarious. So right now, let's turn to the odds real quick before I ask you about the rest of your life. Bob, bring up mybookie.com. Obviously, promo code Drinkin Bros doubles that first deposit all the way up to $1,000. And you can bet on this game tomorrow night. I will be starting for Colorado, and then we're playing my former team, the Dallas Bulls. So I will be going against the famous Brad Namdar tomorrow night. What do we got for those odds? What do you think, by the way, before Bob pulls these up, Brad? Do you think Dallas will be favored, or do you think Colorado's going to be favored?
I think that I've done my due diligence, Ross. So I think Colorado may be favored, but I'd have a more important question. Who do you think will kick a field goal first, you or me?
Oh, man, I hope my bookie puts that bet up there. I really do. I mean, shit, dude. What do we got here for tomorrow? Go down to Football USA and then Arena League. There it is.
All right. We don't have a spread. However, Colorado is favored in the money line, -340. The Bulls are +190.
Holy shit. Okay, so Bulls if you bet on the Bulls, it's 2-1. So you're gonna double your money, and then damn, I'm at -4-1. Shit. They really think we're gonna win, Brad. Here's why I'm shocked by that, I guess. And look, my bookie does their homework for sure. Like all of these gambling sites and all that shit really gets into it, and they watch the footage after the game and all that other stuff, like you and I were chatting about. What am I missing? Because Denver lost last week. Granted, yes, I'm great, and I'm a difference maker and a game changer, and maybe that's it. Maybe this trade was the one that swung the odds in Vegas. Unclear, but did you scout this Denver team? And then when you guys had practice this week, obviously Paxton Lynch is the quarterback, former first-round pick. He was the starting quarterback of the Denver Broncos last year. I believe one of the linemen was on the Seattle Seahawks as well on this team. Yeah. So what does Vegas know that we don't know here? I mean, I was kind of surprised by these odds.
I mean, to be honest with you, you just said some big names. Paxton Lynch. I think that's important. I think I don't set the odds. I don't know too much about the team other than they're good. They're a good team. So we'll see. I mean, you shifted over. You might tilt the scale to be in their favor 100%.
Yeah, because hey, by the way, that is part of it. So whatever money comes in actually does influence the odds. So whether or not the right team is going to win, it's going to win. And this happened to me, let's see, not this last national championship, the one before, the Ohio State versus Notre Dame. There was a 2-point swing on the day of the game where I was just like, what the fuck? And it was all Notre Dame fans flooding the markets thinking they were going to win the national championship, which they didn't, obviously. So maybe that's part of it. But, I look at these big names and I say, okay, this is great, and it's obviously exciting, and it's a fun story for my kids and all the listeners and everybody watching at home. It's such a nuanced game, and the rules are so different than the NFL, and the field is smaller, and it's more violent and all that other stuff. I don't know how you favor this, to be honest with you, because it's the NFL fields. Yes, those guys are great, but they're so much bigger. They're so much wider. You've got so much more space. But this game is faster, quicker, and the receivers are allowed to move and go in motion. So I'm kind of stunned by that. those odds?
Well, I think that obviously, so we told everyone listening, it's like a 50-yard long field. It's on AstroTurf. It's supposed to be 24 yards wide. Like an NFL field is 100 by 50 to 55 yards wide. So it's a lot smaller space. You do have walls. So I think that Colorado is a good team, and they have Paxton Lynch, they have a lot of the players that are good. So I think that I mean I don't know how Vegas does their odds and sets it up. I think if Vegas was, I think some good bets could be, who's going to kick a ball out of bounds on a kickoff first, you or me? Who's going
I didn't kick one out of bounds last week, so we're good.
You know what? Actually, for everyone that was watching, let me tell you, Ross did really good kickoffs because if you kick it out of bounds or even hit the wall right first for the fans to know, it's a penalty.
Mhm.
So for the kicker, so even if you kick it through the end zones and it goes out of bounds, that's a penalty. So when you put in the corners, right on the corner, right before it's a turn, like Ross did, it actually pins the returners, to a harder area. So he did good kickoffs and put them in difficult positions. So that's a really technical kick that he pulled off, 2 times in a row. So part of the whole thing with arena ball is field position is even more critical.
Yep.
In certain situations. So you've got to be able to control the return team, and where they start with the ball. So,
and that one guy I kicked it to, it's essentially a coffin corner for a punter, is what I call it. But
it's
I coffin cornered it on the 2. He coughed up the ball, and then we got the ball on the 1, and then we scored on the next play. And the coach for the other team who had watched the tape was like, "Hey, dude, the way you were dropping those, was that on purpose?" And I said, "Yes. But it was because of the notes you gave me in the Friday night practice where you were like, hey, here's the key to arena. You can't just blast it through the fucking end zone, because it'll be a penalty and all that other stuff." So you were very helpful in that. And
unless you get it through the field goal uprights.
Right.
It's hard because you have to look at the ceiling,
It's too small. It's too small.
Yeah, if the ceiling is too low and you get under the ball, you may hit the ceiling. That's a penalty too. And different arenas are different. Like the scoreboard may be lower, or you might have speakers in the way. So you may have the leg to get it there, but there's just traffic in the way. And if you hit it, it's a penalty. And so but yours tactically were very good kickoffs for sure.
Thank you. And speaking of which, there is another kicker for Denver who they're only going to bring in the first and the third to do kickoffs only and to go for deuces. It's called a deuce when you get it through the uprights. Now, they haven't played in that arena, so I don't think it's possible, but, there'll be a shot at it. Just know that I'm wearing number 23 tomorrow night, and then we'll talk to the announcers before that. But obviously, he's going to take over the rest of the year. I promise you this is my last game of the year. It's a blast, and I can see why you do it on a week-to-week basis. It's addicting. When you get out there and you're finally hitting somebody and you're in meaningful competition and everybody fucking cares, yes, you want to do it week after week after week. I mean, it's really fucking fun.
Yeah. In all honesty, one reason why I came back this year to kick again was my wife, she owns a professional women's indoor soccer team I told you about, at the game and stuff.
Yeah, tell everybody the name of it.
Yeah, it's called Texas Lone Star SC Soccer Club. We're located in Dallas, so there's an indoor team that she has, right, that has been absolutely phenomenal this year. 7 wins, 3 losses. It's our first year as a franchise, and we did very good, and we qualified for playoffs in Detroit, which is next weekend. We've got to take the girls to Detroit, and we have girls on our team ranging from 19 to 36 years old, like a wide range age group, right? So, and then we're going to be doing an outdoor season, and it's going to be from May through July. But one reason why I decided to try again this year was, honest to God, so I didn't know this, but you learn throughout your coaching or what have you in sports is women are 65 to 75% more likely to have ACL injuries than men are, and I wasn't fully aware of that. So we had a player that got injured in the beginning of the year, and then another one, and I kind of was like, you know what? I want to show you can still come back from these injuries, because they can, right? You have to PT, you have to rehab and all this stuff. And, went out to the Bulls, training camp, and I ended up making the team and getting signed. And so I was out for 2 years almost from an injury from the last time I played. So I kind of wanted to, those girls inspired me to try to, see if I could still do after an injury. And also, to show that, like, impossible is nothing. If you dedicate your time and energy to it, you can come back. So that was a big motivating factor for me coming back this season as well, too. Was like, you know what? Yeah, let's see. I can still kick a ball. I can, get after it as well. And that was a big motivating factor for it. But you want to talk about training camp a bit?
Yeah. Fire away. I mean, look, this was nuts, and I felt bad because I was watching on social media, and then obviously you're not with the team. I'm doing this show every day, and I'm traveling, and obviously Hard AF Seltzer's exploding, and it's everywhere. So I couldn't come to the training. However, I was told there was no field goals there. You guys were kicking essentially toward a spooky tree that was kind of in the end zone, and then I heard a rumor. You can confirm this or deny this.
Sure.
That you guys were practicing directly next to a women's prison?
That's correct.
Shut the fuck up. Is that true?
Okay. It's true.
Could you see the women? Were they screaming at you?
No, it was tight lockdown, like a max looking facility. Like,
Jesus Christ.
It was in Fort Worth, Texas. So it was a solid, like, hour from my house, hour 15 minutes from my house. So like you go and you drive up, and it was, and shout out to, the people who allowed us to be there, the YMCA, they're awesome. And you go and you drive, it's a gated facility, and you get in and you're like, okay, so it's like, they got cabins and bunks. And it's like, it's pretty naturey, it's a great place for, like, I guess, like corporate team bonding or exercise development, stuff like that. So we go there, but I drove in Saturday morning at like 6 a.m, and like it was still dark, so I couldn't tell what was next to me on the left side, just this overarching building. I didn't see the barbed wire fences or any of that until it got light when we left for lunch, and I was like, huh. And then I found out I think it was a women's federal penitentiary, and so. Yeah, there was nobody walking the yard. There was nothing like that. But it was it was a real prison next to this YMCA that we're having training camp. And so when you're a kicker, you have to be adaptable. Like, not so there was oh man, I was like, it's from a Tim Burton movie, like a Sleepy Hollow tree. So Pablo was there, so was Delgado and myself. And, we're trying to get our reps in on something. So I was like, yo, let's go to this tree that, and look at these like two like branches like this, and it was like tiny as hell. It's like, let's just like kick some field goals on this tree. And then they had these like little on the field, like these little like chiggers, or they like stab you and they would get stuck to the balls. So you did kickoffs at camp.
Oh God.
Like, oh, yeah, exactly. So when you throw the balls to each other, you're like, ow. And then the last day we found this little orchard area that was like nice. There was goats on our field, which is kind of funny.
Shut the fuck up. Real goats?
Real goats, like legit goats. They were nice, even though they didn't take an acorn from me or whatever, walnut. We were trying to feed them. But, they were on the field a couple times. They were polite. They weren't aggressive. But we found a little pet area that there was none of those little spiky chiggers or whatever that were on the ball. So it's the last day of camp. But yeah, it was a grinding, like 12 hours a day. Like,
yeah, because Coach Prime is intense, the coach of the Dallas Bulls, which I loved. Like when you get there, you wonder how seriously people take it. Then you're like, oh shit, this is. I mean, because not only was it chippy on the field, but it got chippy on the sidelines amongst other players who wanted to start. And that was kind of the cut point there to see if you were going to make the team and all that other shit. And I'd love to see a documentary on this, like kind of like a Hard Knocks for Arena League football, because you truly have to want to do this. And you have to dedicate a lot of your time, and the money ain't great. So, we saw, I think, was Cody the team captain? Because we saw him go down with an injury, and I fucking love that dude. And he got his fucking leg blown up there, and the ambulance came in and all that other stuff. Yeah. And that's the thing is, like, dude, for not a lot of money, him and I had chatted on Friday night. His dream, because the Colorado game was coming up, he goes, dude, my dream is to get a sack against Paxton Lynch, so I can.
Wow, I didn't know that. He said, oh wow.
Yeah, and he goes, man, that would be fucking amazing. It'd be something to tell my kids.
Such a nice guy too, by the way. Like, he's the most intimidating looking person. Like, I mean, he benches close to 500 pounds. Like, he's
a mammoth of a dude. He reminds me of my co-host in the NFL show, Derek Wolf. They both cut from the same cloth. Those guys.
And I didn't know about that, but yeah, I mean, that's the sad part of the game, is the injuries and stuff. Like especially when you see such a good guy,
Yep.
get injured. But no, he puts up 500 pounds almost to the bench, and he was talking, but like you're about the dedication and stuff. Like you're right, like you have to want to play, but also I've said this too because of my other sports backgrounds there's never a shortage of players, out there. So that's the other part is like the competition, the next pony up mentality. But yeah, Coach Prime, I just like you, I met him recently. He's definitely an intense coach but I would say intense in the right way.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He wants to win. I would call him a player's coach, who, coaches towards the players and all that stuff. So, and definitely has a pedigree of winning, especially the Dallas, football market, I guess you could say, and the different, levels they have here. But like back when I think, when I was younger, and I'm sure when you're younger, there wasn't this many leagues. Like there's so many more leagues now, like for people to try to play. But the NAL and the arena leagues, they've done a good job, I think, of trying to consolidate good talent, within ownership groups to put a good product on the field. Like Colorado, I mean, you said the quarterback, like
yeah,
good quarterback, so obviously that gives legitimacy to the league as well.
You got a lineman for the Seahawks, you get all that stuff, and then having the advantage of played for Dallas last week with you guys. The Dallas team is fucking lights out. Number 3 is fucking lights out. The quarterback can both guys could really fucking zip the ball in there. And I was stunned, man, at just how fast paced the game is versus when I played. Dude, it's a lot to get adjusted to in one game. What year is this for you as far as Arena League goes?
2.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. And you never played before, or was it because of the injury?
I played in 2024, but I got to. I'm like you, when you're good, you get to go and teams watch you. So like when I went in, I played for the Frisco Fighters. I did well enough there. They were IFL.
Mm-hmm.
And I got an opportunity to kick in the AFL, which is another indoor arena league for Wichita. And then from there, I was called like by the Corpus Christi Tritons. They played in the AIF. They called me like they had a national championship game. So they just
shit.
Yeah, like I was warming up for a game and they called myself. They're like, hey, we have a national championship game next week. Do you want to play in it? We've seen your film. We've heard about you. And I said, okay, sure, bet. And went down there. And Corpus Christi is pretty nice, people. If you haven't been down there, it's pretty cool. And it's a nice area. And we had to go to Georgia to play the national championship game. So I was there for that game.
Was it the Columbus Lions?
It was the Columbus Lions, yes.
We sponsored that for Hard AF Seltzer.
Yeah,
I actually did the coin toss and the ball at that game with Tim Hudson, one of my favorite players from the Braves. He's from Columbus. You started in that game. Columbus won the game.
Yeah, they won the game. Yeah, but I started that game. I played that game.
Holy shit. So you were there the same. I was there. That's how I got involved with all this.
Hang on. I'm going to just show it to you. I know I'm coming off screen real quick, but like, here you go.
No way. Oh, hold it back a little bit because you got the green screen effect on your Zoom there.
Don't make any rumors on this stuff. This isn't deep state stuff, but that was my jersey I was trying to show y'all.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Okay. Hold it back a tad. What do you think? In or out, Ryan?
No, it's just because it's the same color.
Oh, it's the same color as your background. I got you. Oh, there you go. That's perfect. Yeah, so I'm going to get mine shadow boxed too after the game's over. I love that. And then
so you were there. Yeah, you were there.
We were there. I did the trophy presentation. Afterwards, the MVP. I gave out the trophy, and then we had Hard AF Seltzer and coolers and all that stuff in the locker room. So those guys were getting fucked up afterwards. But that's where I got hooked. So I was sitting at one of those tables, and the commissioner come over, and he goes, "What do you think of this?" I actually got fucking hit in the game and got like a golf ball size welt on my arm.
You had the round tables on the corner.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And it was on a interception return, and it was hilarious. We were filming that day too, so we were doing a live show on the field beforehand and then afterwards. And I was like, man, this is really fucking fun. If people actually came out to this and saw how crazy it was and wild, and the fact that you can take your kids and then take them down to the field and meet the players and get autographs afterwards, and like, I mean, literally just run, throw passes and all that other shit. I mean, my kids played on the field for like an hour and a half afterwards last Saturday. Yeah. It was a blast. And once you're in it and you understand what it is, you kind of want to keep going back. So, you know, my job is to bring some eyeballs to the league. And obviously I'm living out my childhood fantasy where I'm like, great, I wonder what would happen. And things went well last week. Hopefully things will go well this week. But what's your end goal?
Yeah, no. So just full disclosure for your fans and everybody listening. Ross was very focused.
Yes.
You know, he was locked in.
I take everything seriously.
Yeah, I mean, it was cool to see. I mean, what you guys like gotta understand with Ross is like I could tell he was very focused, he's locked in, and it makes me like become a fan of yours as well because you're locked in, you're focused, and at the end of the day, like I mean, he can kick, guys. He's not he can kick, and so respect goes out to you for that because I promise you, these teams don't just take random people to just even if your job is to promote, the stuff. If you suck, like they're not gonna want to do it.
No, they're gonna pull you. They're gonna pull you out of there.
Yeah, they're gonna pull you out. So it's actually playing Colorado against Dallas. Like that's get a props to you. But I mean, my end goal is just kind of like what you said. It's like let me out. You're dreaming all that good stuff, which is great for me. It's to play and also when I have kids soon, I'm gonna say, hey, I was injured, but I came back and I played too, and also. For the ladies that are on our team to show, you can always go back after an injury, but also to just, enjoy the game. Cause I mean, like you said, it's a lot of fun. And if there's like, physical activity, it's, like being an athlete all my life and then being a coach and stuff like that, like you miss this, I think all of us do like intrinsically miss like this level of competition, right? Like, the more you do in life, the more success you have, the more the different higher levels you've been, right? Like there's this adrenaline rush that you get when you play that you kind of miss, right? Mm-hmm. And so, but there's also a nerve factor too, which is like, oh wait, am I really doing this right now? Like I'm on the field, all that stuff too, which is kind of a good feeling. But just like you did after your first kick, right? You're like, okay, yeah, I got this. I know what I'm doing. This is like, a method and stuff like that. So I mean, my goal is just to enjoy it. I don't have a goal at the end of the day. It's to enjoy it and have fun, show people.
The reason I ask is let's take Jason Myers for the Seattle Seahawks. Kicked 5 field goals in the Super Bowl. He was in the Arena League. And you wonder, because look, it's 8 feet wide, 9 feet wide, and then you have NFL as 18, which feels like you're kicking into an ocean. I mean, that's amazing. You wonder, though, like, all right, there's got to be a lot of guys who are going to get a shot after the season's over at training camp for the NFL. So I understand it, man.
Well, the kickoff rule is something that, like, when the NFL changed the rules for kickoffs, right? One thing I was like low-key pissed because I was like, why didn't they do this when I graduated from SMU? Because I'm a technical kicker, right? So for the audience to stay at home, like I don't just do like deep kickoffs because that's one kick, right? And Ross and I and the other kickers, we were all practicing stuff. There's other like technical kickoffs you can do where like, I mean, you can try to spiral it sideways and get a difficult bounce. You can try to, do mortars. There's a lot of different types of kicks. And that's always what I was good at. Like, I don't have the biggest leg in the world. I can't, bomb it down 85 yards and all this other stuff. But, I was really technical. So the arena game, I was like, okay, well, that's 50 yards. That's doable to go goal line. But when I found out, I can do a squib and we get the ball back or it'll bounce off the ground and it's a live ball, so let's go get it. I would like fell in love with that immediately. So when I saw the NFL change it, then I was like, you know what? Yeah, you're right. Maybe some kickers can get a look, because of how they do it with the new NFL rules that change. But it's definitely a league where you never know. NFL teams will bring people in camp to like, give their kickers a break, right? Or just to have some competition, things like that. So you never know. But there's some really good arena kickers that I'm friends with that have either played in the league or were called to camps and stuff, so you still have a good pedigree in the NAL and all the other arena leagues as well of kickers.
What are some of the craziest stories you've encountered over the last couple years
Our
doing
game,
it? Our game was fucking nuts, dude. I mean, I don't know, like we didn't have water at a certain points. Somebody brought jars of pickles over there and was asking us to drink.
I heard about the pickles, and Pablo was eating one. I was like, bro, you're eating a pickle right now? He was like, yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, all right. But I would say some of the crazy stories. Man, there's a lot. Let me think. Crazy stories. I mean, for example, there's a guy named Ross Patterson, and he came to go kick. I remember during warmups, like you had your helmet, and then he's right. It didn't. I mean,
It doesn't fit.
You got a big head. We talked about that one too. I think you had a large, honestly, but it was. And then we noticed. I was like, maybe we could take the air out, right? And then I remember Coach Hedrick was taking the air out right before the game. But then also like I was like, man, what? Like there's a couple kicks of warm up. Ross told me like he missed. I was like, what? You okay? You go, I can't see, Brad. I was like, wait, what? He's like, I can't see. And we tried adjusting your chin straps because we adjusted in the locker room. And one of the craziest things I'd say, it's not necessarily moments, it's a lot. I just don't want to get people in trouble.
How about the 12-year-old kid for Team Mexico who pulled the fire alarm because his dad was getting
I don't
hits?
know. So okay, that I don't know what happened with the fire alarm, but after a kickoff that I did, I remember the fire alarm went off, and then I was standing next to Ross, and I was like, is this happening right now? And so some of the fans were leaving, and then because it gets guys like the arena has like lights that are flashing. It's like, and then it goes, alert, a fire.
Yeah.
Warning has been detected or something like that, and like, please exit the arena. And
the sheriff got onto the field. He told people not to leave the stadium.
Come back down. Like
it was 48-0, and yeah, we heard one of those little Mexican kids went over and just pulled the fire alarm to get his dad off the field, which I respect. I love that. I think it's a genius move.
Is that what happened?
Yeah. And then the sheriff came down and said, hey, guys, there's no fire, there's no nothing, and we're good. But, I mean, I was like, man, if this goes on a week-to-week basis, holy shit, man. How do you maintain your focus? Because even that was like a 15-minute delay.
Oh, easy. And the injury delay, too,
That was because there was no trainers. It's not like the NFL, man. I mean, he had to go sit on the sideline. There wasn't a trainer, and then they had to wait for the ambulance to come.
Yeah, the ambulance. Yeah. I mean, how do you maintain your focus? I think the other thing that people don't know about, the football stick, those guys are the kicking stick. They're friends of mine. They make the stick where you like kick the ball because we didn't have a net on the sidelines to stay warm.
Yep.
I think people understand that as well. Like kicking, you have to kind of be loose, or else if your legs are tight and heavy, like you're not going to kick well. So you have to stay loose. But as far as keeping your focus, I think that just comes with like confidence and experience to just be like, okay, I know what I'm doing when I'm going out there. But I mean, obviously distractions happen. Like you'll get shook if you see injury or like the fire alarm. I remember that one. And we were telling fans not to leave. And then we got the fans to come back in. And I don't know how they figured it out to like turn it off. But that one, I was just like, really? Like everyone's leaving right now. And I was like, oh man, the broadcasting and everything. But I think Ross, the main thing is keeping focus is just, being calm too, because I feel like aura, like your teammates will feed off your aura.
Yeah.
You got to have a good aura on it as well.
I've never not had a good aura, which is great. Let's get into your name here for Namdar. Yeah. It's unusual. I've fucked it up all week.
Well, it's Namdar. I've heard both. My whole life.
Where are you from? Like, where's your family from and all that stuff?
Yeah, no, I mean, my parents are Persian, so it's a Persian last name, and I was born and raised in Dallas, Texas, so. It's been a journey to say the least, but yeah, no, it's Persian last name.
Are you following what's going on in Iran? Do you guys care? Like, I don't, forgive me. I don't know what encompasses being Persian. Do you care about the Iran region and everything that's going on there? You guys watching on the news?
Yeah, no. So I mean, first and foremost, I'm a Texan and an American. So, at the end of the day, it's one of those things where, I mean, Iran has its own history, of civil rights abuses of, things like that, not civil rights, human rights abuses and so many other things that they've done from proxy wars and things like that. And it's not a good regime. So obviously, just like every other American, you want to see, prosperity, everywhere. But at
Hmm.
the end of the day, the regime's no good. And so, obviously, having a transitional change of government, I think any common sense person, would support. So 1000% we want to see a regime change. I mean, I speak on my behalf, only. That's just common sense on that. Like it's kind of crazy. I will say this, like, being a first generation American, right? That's born in Texas and stuff like that. Like you look at it and you're like, this is like it's a no brainer. If anyone's like, no, we support the Ayatollah or the government, I'm like, no, like, and I haven't met someone who does. So, like, you can't, knock them down for trying to knock down a bad thing.
Yeah, and we've been watching on the news, and there's been some protests of like, oh, we can't take out the dictator. It was like he murdered 30,000 of his own citizens
Yeah.
during these protests and all this other shit. And it's just like, no, we're good, and it feels like everybody supports this. The kid just got named yesterday. Well, the cardboard cutout of the kid did, and I think he's not a kid. He's 53 years old. But he's in a coma, leg blown off, and might be amputated. We don't even know if he's alive, for Christ's sake.
They
So
haven't
it's
really
been a
stated
wild story.
something for them to read from him or something like that.
Yep.
So I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, like I'm very confident in the United States and what we're gonna do and all that good stuff. And I mean, I think the whole world is, cheering for like, because the Persian people, right? They're like very much anti the regime.
Hmm.
Like, and that's the thing sometimes people don't get. But I think majority of our what's it called media and our society understands that they are supportive of a transitional government that's not a theocratic oppressive regime. So that's my opinion as well. I mean it's kind of common sense, but at the same time it's kind of crazy to see like what's happened the last 18 months in the world. Like it's just a lot.
Oh my God, dude! I mean, we just look at the last 2 months, snatching up Maduro.
Yeah.
Ayatollah's gone.
Yeah.
There was peace in the Middle East as far as getting the hostages back and all that other stuff from Israel. It's interesting to see what's going on, but for us and like the Persian people, like it mixes well with Americans. And you guys are just as proud as being here that we are and all that other stuff. Whereas, some other cultures don't necessarily mix in great with us. And Iranians are baddies underneath those jihadis, dude. I didn't know that. I didn't know that they were so hot because they were all wrapped up for years. Now we're starting to see images come in. You're like, all right, goddamn, dude. Well, yeah, there's some baddies over in Iran.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing too. When people hear that you speak like Farsi, for example, they don't know that that's like that's the Persians, and then they're like, oh, you'll hear what's Persia? It's like, oh, that's Iran, right? So they're like, well, what's the name? Because it used to be called Persia way back in the day,
Yes,
like
yes.
the Empire of Persia. So, yeah, no, it's definitely a culture that it's very much an affectionate, a compassionate culture with same values, that we have as, Americans as well. But, you're under a theocratic oppressive regime. So, I mean, 47 plus years, or even 40 years earlier before the fall of the Shah, I mean, women didn't have to wear head coverings. Like, it was very much uh, normal, you would say, on a lot of things for the Middle East as well. Like, they could drive, they could on land, they could do all this other stuff. And then you like go back in time. Like, so, I mean, it is kind of an interesting position to see what's going on. But I mean, at the end of the day, you hope that there will be actually some meaningful change in Iran.
Yeah.
And, but I'm just a kicker like you, and also just another guy in Texas.
No, it's not true. That's not true.
Yeah.
I'm an American hero as well, and I deserve to be treated as such. I don't
Yeah.
know if they're going to build a statue outside the stadium of me.
I mean, I've
or in
heard
Colorado.
that happened. I heard that might happen.
Yeah, I met the mayor. I did meet the mayor last Friday. He came down.
Johnson, the Honorable Johnson, yeah.
Yeah. We met for a little bit before the game, and we had a nice chat about it. So we're working on something. Bob, pull up the odds on mybookie.com to win the National Arena League Championship. I want to see what these odds are at right now. And then, Brad, I'll get your take on these teams. obviously, we got a lot of listeners who gamble, same as I do, and I want to win here, but I want to see the updated odds for the championship. What do we got here, Bob?
The Omaha Beef are the favorites to win the championship this year at plus 120.
Shit, that's almost even odds. Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Followed by the Sioux City Bandits.
Well, real quick, Brad, how good are the Omaha Beef?
I've heard they're good. You
Okay.
know, I've heard they're good. I mean, they have a good program, year after year.
Here's what I heard about the Omaha Beef, and tell me if I'm wrong. It's a veteran team. They've all played together for a while, so they know each other. That certainly helps when I'm coaching kids. And all the teams that I've coached with kids who have played with each other before, it's way easier than bringing a brand new team together. And I heard their facilities incredible, and they take it really seriously. They got a great fan base. And let's face it, there's nothing else going on in Nebraska. Dallas is a different story because you got the Stars in the NHL. You got the Mavericks. Obviously, you got the Dallas Cowboys, which is America's team. I'm going to use air quotes on that because they haven't won a Super Bowl in 30 years.
You have the highest sports density market in the world in DFW.
That's what I heard. Who's up next, Bob?
The Sioux City Bandits.
Sioux City Bandits. And what are the odds of those guys?
It was like plus 260.
All right, so you're roughly 2.5 to 1. You know anything about Sioux City?
Sioux City, I mean, they've been around. They've got some clown experience. So I think they'd be pretty good.
Same thing, like a veteran team that's all played together?
Yeah.
Okay. Who's up next, Bob?
Next up, we got the Salina Liberty.
So they were
Salina, yes.
They were when I played 2 years ago before my injury. They were in the AFL. So they all they're good. They're good.
Okay. Who do we got up next, Bob?
The Southwest Kansas Storm.
Woo! Southwest
So they're out of
Kansas.
Dodge City, right? I think I'm correct on that, Dodge City. And I think I'm right on that.
Man, I would have called it the Wyatt Earps or something like that.
But I went to Dodge City to play them, and it's a very small town.
I was just going to ask, how is Dodge City this time of year? Is it lovely?
I mean, when I went to play there, because there's a phrase I was explaining to my wife, it's get out of Dodge, right? But I went there and I was like, this is a very small town. There's a casino, I believe, and that's where the attachment to the arena was, but they're pretty legit. They're good.
Okay. Who do we got up next, Bob?
The Amarillo Warbirds.
Amarillo Warbirds. Let's see. I believe the championship was there last year because Hardy F. Seltzer sponsored it. But I don't know if they won or lost. Well, I was supposed to go to the game. It was going to be on a Saturday night, and then they moved it to a Monday night at the last second, and I had to go live on air. So I think they...
Hey, disclosure, we are not giving you guys advice or guidance on how to bet.
Correct. I'm just asking you as a player.
Yeah.
I'm just asking you as a player who these teams are and if they're good.
I've heard of Amarillo's team. I think they are returning, like a returning franchise to the indoor league.
Yes.
But it's also important for answer to this is that if a coach leaves or moves on, you might have a new roster, but the same program, right? So but if you're a returning franchise, that always gives, I guess, some fans stability to know, hey, they've got their stuff together, and all that good stuff. So Amarillo, they've always, I think they've had a team for the last several years,
Yeah. Who do we got up next, Bob?
The Louisiana Rougarou.
God damn, Bob, you're reading literally every team but the ones that I've played on. This is fucking crazy at this point. I mean,
I don't know.
Do you want to know where your team is?
Well, let me. So, all right, Bob.
I can skip to it.
Bob hosts a show called Softcore History as well. It's a history show, Brad, and we did talk about Louisiana. And he said the werewolf on the helmet. What was it, Bob?
It's a Rougarou. It's a special Catholic werewolf that murders you if you don't do Lent right.
Which I love. And I love their fucking logo. And I'm all in. And it's in Shreveport. That was another team that I had chatted with this week. And I said, Bob, can you pull this up and look at it? And then he was informing me that the werewolf was on the helmet. I was like, well, Jesus Christ. Is the werewolf on the jersey? Because that would be sweet to hang as well. And also, my wife just found out that I got traded yesterday, and I'm playing this weekend. Luckily, she's out of town, so she can't do anything about it. So it's hilarious because let's face it, at 49, this is fucking crazy. Who's up next, Bob?
Up next, we've got the Pueblo Punishers at 14-1.
Come on, dude.
Yeah, Punishers. Yeah, I think they look good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where is Pueblo?
Colorado.
Oh, it's in Colorado too. All right, there's 2 teams in Colorado?
Believe so, yeah.
Shit. Okay. And then the last 2 have to be us, right?
That is correct.
Okay, what do we got?
Dallas Bulls are 18-1, and the Colorado Spartans are 44-1 to win.
Why? With Paxton Lynch at the quarter? I mean, maybe they looked at last week's score. They lost last week.
Who did
Holy
they
shit.
lose to, Ross?
I believe they lost to Pueblo, I think.
Okay. Well, Pueblo's a pretty good team.
Yeah,
so.
but still, you got fucking 2 NFL guys on your team, and you lose. Maybe they were taking it. I don't know what the story is, but that's where the value is. So what? Colorado's at 44-1. Bulls are at 18-1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So look, preseason, I know one of my family members did bet on the Bulls, and I'll probably have one of my family members throw some money on Colorado as well. Just so we can hang for the rest of the year and do all that other fun stuff. Game will be televised again tomorrow night on Drinkin Bro Studios. Am I right, Byron? Is that true?
Yeah, I need contact information for the production company. I've talked to the commissioner, though, so we should hopefully have that.
Okay, great.
But yeah,
Great.
pending that, yes, it'll be good on YouTube and Kick and all this stuff.
Are you fucking playing Dungeons and Dragons tomorrow night?
No, I'm fucking, I'm sleeping. That's the plan, at least. I'm pretty sick right now.
Are you really?
Yeah,
What do you
I've
have,
been
AIDS?
sick all week.
You got AIDS?
It's getting there at this point.
All right, I understand it, man. It's been some weird weather here in Texas. Yeah, but you pop up the live feed. We'll have people there filming the game and all that other stuff. Lastly, Brad, tell me about this women's league. I've got a daughter. She's already playing soccer in the backyard at 3 years old. And she's tall like I am, and she's already fucking bombing the ball. And my wife's just like, hey, you're going to coach her too, like the rest of the kids. And I'm like, look, if my kid's asked to coach, I will. Yes, we win every championship, and I'm virtually undefeated. This one dad fucked me over by sitting out his kid. And only 2 championships I've lost is these dads. Like one of them had a yoga sesh, which was fucking bullshit in Wimberley. I was just like, fuck you. And then the other one was just like, we went to our grandparents earlier for spring break. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. It was the championship, but thanks, guys. I'm glad I donated my time for the rest of the year. But what I've noticed, and there's this trend going on right now, a lot of women's sports are getting bigger and bigger. Volleyball is that's going to be the pro volleyball circuit is going to start next year for women. If you have not watched, it is a fucking blast. Nebraska women's team sells out the football stadium every year. It's awesome. And then women's soccer is way better than men's. Like, I hate to say it, Brad, but it's true. And it's more fun to watch, and the USA dominates, and these girls are aggressive, and they beat the shit out of each other. Why, well, let's start off with this. Why does the men's team suck so bad, and why is the women dominance, like, for years and years and years?
Well, so the United States, especially when you're doing international sports, right? We're known for creating the best athletes, right? So that's the one thing that every country wants to know about is how do you create this culture and breed the best athletes? So I mean, and why does that translate, to soccer? I think on the men's side it's getting better, but also that's a much deeper conversation of how do we structure our professional leagues and relegation and academies? But women by far, I mean. The women's soccer players in the U.S. are second to none. They're really good players, and I think that has to do with the development and the process to get to the professional level. They're trying to change some things now. I know, because it was a pathway, right? You go to high school, you play club, and then you go to college, and you graduate and you go pro, right? So we're catching up with sometimes you don't need to go college. You get a pro contract. Culturally in the U.S., I think it was no, you want to go to college first and stuff like that. Some people are saying, okay, well, I'm only going to be young once. I can go to school afterwards, so let me go play, right? So I think it has to do with, especially on the women's side, great sports science, good nutrition, good, I mean, we're the United States. We dominate in everything, so
but except for men's soccer. And I can't figure it out.
I mean, you also have to look at how other sports that we have in the U.S. I mean, I played like literally every sport growing up, right?
So did I. Yeah.
You know, you do it, but then also with soccer, there's a culture of you have to do this full time when you're like 13 or youth team or all this other stuff. So I think with the men's side, the rest of the world, that's like their only focus. Like if you go to Italy or Europe or South America, that's all they play is soccer. So I think now that we're getting more sports specific, that's great. But we're like one of the only countries that has the culture of, hey, you could be baseball, football, and soccer at the same time. So that's that, and like when I have a son one day, I'm gonna have him play multiple sports. I don't care, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it has to do with development academies and things like that. But as far as our girls team goes, it's an indoor women's soccer team, right? So it's like arena football, but it's indoors, right? For girls soccer. So 6v6 on the field. And it's a grind. I mean, there's walls, you can play off the wall.
Yep.
Just like regular indoor soccer, but the technical tactical side of it is so much faster and quicker than outdoor because it's a closed field space. So that's our women's team. We're called Texas Lone Star SC, and it's our first year franchise, and we qualified for the playoffs in Detroit, which is the top 8 teams. We're ahead of we're ahead of the Mexico team that's in our conference. We're in the South Conference, the most competitive conference there is. And so right now we're scheduled to go to Detroit on the 19th through the 23rd for the national championship. And so we're aggressively, trying to raise funds for that trip. Gas prices, right, have gone through the roof on some areas, and some industry sectors. And so your airplane and airfare tickets will increase. So that's what we have going on this week. And then
how can people help you? Is there a website that you got to go to donate? Because I understand it. I just brought plane tickets last night to take my other son back home for spring break in North Carolina. My God, dude, coach tickets were, I don't know, $850 a piece.
Yeah. And so, the whole thing with the gas is like
one way tickets, by the way.
Yeah, it's a thing. And I gotta take 20 plus. So, so like our website is txlonesstarsc.com. Our Instagram, guys, if you guys want to follow, it's at txlonesstarsc. Same with our TikTok. Our Facebook group is Texas Lone Star Soccer Club. You can email us at txlonesstarsc@gmail.com. We would love any of y'all's support to help us get there. And we also have a women's team that's going to be playing outdoor, which starts May through July in the WPSL, which stands for Women's Premier Soccer League. And it's the largest women's outdoor, league in the world. So that was a huge thing that our team was going to do this, next summer. And we're trying to raise funds for that as well. And you can have college players play in it without violating NIL deals or some of that, and players that aren't college players. So it's a really good platform for them to, pursue the next level. So those are the 2 teams that we have. And we're the only franchise, to my knowledge right now, that has both the indoor and the outdoor in the country.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I tell you what, email our producer Bob after the show, and he'll put these links in the audio and video description on Spotify. And you
can follow me at Brad Namdar TX. I am not Ross Patterson's clone.
Or my body double or AI. Dude, man, I'm telling you, the last 3 years, every celebrity who's been on the show or whatever, wherever I go, people are like, "Oh man, that's AI. You don't know that person." I'm like, dude, they're on the show. Everybody, everybody, no matter what happens in today's world, thinks there's some grand conspiracy behind everything, and it was just I grabbed a jersey out of the box, and that was it.
Okay, and also my defense too. I didn't even know my number going into the game.
Mm-mm.
So
none of us did. We just grabbed a fucking jersey. So yeah.
But this week it's going to be much more organized. It's going to be a lot more. What's it called? I mean, you go through the growing pains, right? So this week it's going to be a good game, and also you and I will see each other as well. And all that good stuff too. So I mean, I think some lines is, who's gonna kick a first field goal, who's gonna, get a kick blocked, or something like that. Which, by the way, I had a PAT that was blocked. It was
you did. You and I were both 1 out of 2 last week, and you did the same thing. You shortened up because of that seam in the carpet, and it was just too close. And those guys rolled in and got it, but. Man, unless you go there, because we had a bunch of listeners who came down on the field afterwards who were there, and they were like, man, I had no idea how small this was. It's 8 feet wide, guys. That's it.
It's really narrow, y'all. Like, it is narrow. And also you need to like practice your holder with the snapper and
Yep.
you know all these logistics, but people don't realize. And I know a lot of fans will say, "Oh, just kick the ball and all this other stuff." Trust me, we are kicking the it's not like we're not. So, but we have to rely on other mechanics to be there to always, you know, to be able to perform. But you know, at the end of the day, kickoffs, you know, we have more control over
That's
that.
easy. Yeah, I've always been good at that. If it's the rest of it, you got to depend on everybody else. Now's the point in the show. We get to the Drinkin' Bro of the week, which is somebody who has inspired you or helped you become the person you are today. Mr. Brad Namdar, who would you like to give the Drinkin' Bro of the week to?
So does it have to be a bro?
No, it can be anybody.
Oh, my wife. Yeah. So
Yeah, great. I met her. My Jesse and I met her. My wife. She's lovely, dude, and
Hey.
she's the same way as my wife, where she's like, "What the fuck are you guys doing out there?"
Yeah, kind of, yeah. 100%. But she enjoys it too. Like she thinks it's great, you know. I think she just wants to make sure that like, you know, like your wife, like we don't get destroyed or hit and stuff.
I know, and it's very real. And I promised my wife last night when she called, I was like, "This will be my last game. I'll try to come back next year and
What are the odds that Ross's last game is versus Colorado? There's another good one there.
Yeah, exactly. But I did tell the commissioner. I said, "Look, we try to get the Guinness Book of World Records there. They take it very seriously, and it's a 4-week process. They came in and said we found a guy 5 or 6 years ago that was 11 months older than you. So if you want to come back and break the record." For arena, you got to come back, you know, and do it next year. So I'm like, all right, I'll do one more game this year, and then I'll come back and try to break the record next year, and that'll be a fun thing. It's just staying in shape.
Yeah, it's staying in shape. But Ross, I talked to you about that. You know, you talked about the pull-up guy. It's something that I want to do. That.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So last night when you and I were chatting about this for today, you said you wanted to set the record for most extra points in a 24-hour period. Bob, look that up. Does that exist in Guinness right now? Because our buddy Cam Haynes' kid, he's just set the record for pull-ups in a 24-hour period, and he did it in jeans from the perfectgene.nyc/drinking bros. I'll give myself a plug on that one, but yeah, Truett. Truett is.
So if we like live streamed it, I would want to go 24 hours.
Hey, did you watch Truett's thing for pull-ups?
Yeah.
So, dude, I mean, they had meals timed, food, drinks, water, and then he was immediately back up there doing pull-ups, and he broke the record. But also, you got to stay up for 24 hours.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that won't be the problem, for sure.
Okay.
So
I've calculated this in my head for like 10 years, but then I was like, you know what? It would be really cool to do that with you guys or something, you know, where we get a field goal. You know, like there has to be a supply chain on it. Like someone has to catch it, you know, throw it to someone else.
You got to have a bunch of balls
You have to have
do
like
it.
10 balls, and I would do it for 24 hours nonstop. You know, we could donate a portion to nonprofits or some good causes or something like that.
Yeah. What's the record, Bob?
it appears 1,000.
Whoa, dude. So how
I posted
many?
the number.
You were close. So how many is that in per hour in 24 hours? I guess. I don't have a calculator on me, and I'm fucking dumb. So
41, 42 an hour.
So you need to average 42.
Let's go.
So what is that? One every minute and 15 seconds at least. That's totally possible. Is it on? Was it an arena on a normal field goal?
It was just a normal field goal.
Oh shit. Yeah, if you could stay up, I think you could do it, Brad.
Like you just gotta rally the first 2 hours. Just make sure you set that tone on it. Like boom, 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 boom.
Right, and then coffee and everything else, icy hot, all the fun stuff because it's 24 hours. Hey, when Truett did it for the pull-up competition, all the skin came off his hands. I mean, it got nasty towards the end, for sure.
Yeah, but I think we should totally do it. So
I would watch you do it, and I'll donate on that one. Stand up for 24 hours. My leg would fall off my body at this stage, dude. Like there's no way.
Yeah, no, I mean it'll be rough, but it's for good cause. So I mean, I'd love to have y'all's help with that as well. You know, to do that.
Bro, yeah, I'm in. You tell me when, and I'll help organize it and all that other stuff. I'm good for 50 a day, let alone 50 an hour. That's fucking nuts, dude. Holy shit.
Are you gonna pregame tomorrow? what's it called, pre-warm up and stuff like that, a couple hours before?
Yeah, I'll be there probably like 4:30 or 5. Games at 7. It'll be on Drinkin Bros Studios here and Twitter and Kick.com and all that other fun stuff. There is a national deal that is coming here in about 3 weeks. I think it starts, actually, it'll be announced in 10 days. And you'll be able to watch that, everywhere, every single game, rerun, all that other fun stuff. I am coaching my kids' game in the morning, soccer, and then I'm hopping in the car right afterwards and driving there. So I should be there around, 4:30 or 5. Get a couple hours in and warm up there, and then it'll be me versus you tomorrow night, Brad, and we'll take some pictures on the field.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, your Colorado jersey looks sick. I saw it on Instagram.
It was dope, right? I was
Really
stoked.
sick. Yeah.
I was stoked. I was like, all right, cool, man. Let's go. That'll be another one to shadow box and frame and all that stuff.
Yeah, and we'll make sure that, I guess we got to make sure the announcers say, you're kicking.
Yeah, I'll have a strong talking to him, but it still won't beat the conspiracy theories, I think. People just don't. The other thing, too, is they're like, dude, I can't believe you're that big. And I'm like, yeah, motherfucker. Like, I've told you on the show for years.
Well, how tall are you? Like 6'4"?
Yeah, close to 6'4", yeah. Kiss is 6'4".
6'4". I mean.
And then I bulked up for that was the shocking part, I guess, maybe. I bulked up to 235 for this, just to absorb hits and all that other shit. Typically, I walk around somewhere in like the 215, 220 area. But I did prepare for it. And, we take all this shit seriously because you guys are. And, you don't want a fucking comedian showing up being an asshole on the field. So, It was great. And I had a great game. Hopefully, I can replicate it on Saturday.
Everyone. He's 6'4" without his cleats on.
Yeah.
So, I'm 5'5", even though the freaking stupid roster says 5 foot. And I'm like, damn it. Like, kill me. I'm not 5 foot. I am 5'5", ladies and gentlemen. I am not 5 foot.
We'll get a picture next to each other tomorrow for the gram for everybody so they can understand.
Yeah.
Appreciate everybody tuning in at home. This was a bonus show today because this was a last-minute trade for me, and I wanted to bring Brad on the show. So we'll pop this up on all platforms right afterwards, so you'll be able to have it for tomorrow night's game. If you're in the Dallas area, buy tickets. Kickoff is at 7:05. I will be playing for the Colorado Spartans against the Dallas Bulls, so it'll be me versus Brad tomorrow night. And then I think most teams carry 2 kickers. So my jersey number is 23 tomorrow night for the Colorado Spartans. You can bet on mybookie.com. Just make sure to use that promo code Drinkin Bros to double that first deposit all the way up to $1,000. Go to iTunes, rate the show a 5-star, and leave a quick review. Also, head on over to Spotify. That's where the video is. Pushed all the video to Spotify. Signed that big deal last year. And then there's one coming down the pike later in probably next month for video as well on iTunes. And that'll be on Apple TV and all that other fun stuff. Brad, I appreciate you being a good sport about this all week. Our listeners have had a lot of fun with it. I had a lot of fun with you. And I appreciate all the help last week behind the scenes. Because everybody's trying out for the team. Nobody's really wanting to help each other. So I appreciate it. And thank you for all the advice.
No problem. Thank you guys. And thank your fans. They've been awesome too, and everybody else. And it's a pleasure at the end of the day to help you out. But, tomorrow we're going to get after it. You versus me. It's going to be great.
Yeah. And that's going to be real. Like, because everybody's like, hey, it's not Team Mexico. This is going to be
guys, it's not Team Mexico. It's and not to downplay Team Mexico because honestly, guys, they've got some.
They had some dudes. They had some dudes, yeah.
Dudes for sure, but this is going to be 2 U.S. NAL teams that are official NAL teams taking on,
and it should be a closer game. One would imagine.
It should be, but we'll see. And I hope you make all your kicks, however many you have. And that's another idea who's going to have more kicks.
You never know. That's the thing, dude. You never know.
Yeah, you never know. But no, it's been a pleasure. And thank your fans and everybody else for y'all's support and all that good stuff. It's been a privilege.
Awesome, man. Well, I'll see you tomorrow night, Brad. Everyone else, come out to Dallas. Or if you're not in the Dallas area, you want to watch it on YouTube tomorrow night.
Fair Park. It's at Fair Park Coliseum.
Yes.
Fair Park Coliseum. Yeah.
So. Fair Park Coliseum tomorrow night, 7:05 p.m. kickoff. Tickets are $10. They're doing a St. Patrick's Day special there. bring the family. It's a lot of fun. You can go on the field afterwards. Players will hang out with you, take pictures, sign autographs. Ball goes into the stands. You get to keep it. It's a blast, and it's one of those things where you won't believe it until you're there in real life, how crazy it actually is. So I highly recommend it. See you tomorrow night, Brad. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Normal show will be on Sunday night, as always, at 7 o'clock. Audio, video, all the other fun stuff with Anthony Hollaway. Wanted to pump this one out before tomorrow night's game. It was a last-minute trade from the Dallas Bulls to the Colorado Spartans. Sorry, Brad, but let's go Spartans tomorrow night. Even though he's not here, I'll say his name for Anthony Hollaway. I'm Ross Patterson. This is the Drinkin' Bros Podcast. Good night, everyone.